What are you watching?
What are you watching? Elodie, le film!
The sorrowful tale of the Seattle Marriott Waterfront. As I stepped into the grand lobby of the Seattle Marriott Waterfront, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and anticipation. I had heard so much about this prestigious hotel, about its breathtaking views of the harbor, its luxurious amenities, and its exceptional service. Oh, how naive I was. The first thing that struck me was the eerie feeling of being in a warehouse. Yes, you read that right, a warehouse. It was as if I had walked into a giant storage facility, where people were mere commodities, waiting to be processed and fed into the machine that was the cruise industry. The air was thick with the smell of desperation, of people longing for a glimpse of the sea, of a fleeting escape from their mundane lives. As I checked in, I was greeted by an overworked, apathetic front desk staff, who thanked me for my Marriott loyalty and high ranking with all the enthusiasm of a sedated sloth. It was as if they were going through the motions, robotic and detached, without a care in the world. I felt like just another cog in the machine, another dollar sign in their ledger. Where was the warmth, the welcome, the sense of hospitality that I had come to expect from a Marriott hotel? But, I thought to myself, perhaps this was just a minor hiccup. Perhaps the rest of my stay would be a breeze, a tranquil oasis in the heart of Seattle. Oh, how wrong I was. The room itself was a disaster waiting to happen. The air conditioner rattled and hummed like a restless beast, making it impossible to sleep. And don't even get me started on the noise from the street, the train below, and the people talking loudly at the pool. It was as if I was trapped in a never-ending nightmare, with no escape from the cacophony of sounds. And then, there was the cleanliness. Or should I say, the lack thereof. The floors were dirty, the tables were sticky, and the carpets in the hallways were disgustingly dirty, cleverly designed to hide stains, but you could still tell. It was as if the hotel had given up, surrendered to the whims of fate, and abandoned all pretense of cleanliness. But what really took the cake was the shuttle service from the pier to the airport. When I paid for a private shuttle, I expected privacy, exclusivity, and a sense of luxury. Instead, I got a cramped, noisy ride with strangers, an experience that was more akin to a bad bus ride than a luxury shuttle service. And don't even get me started on the food. Oh, the food. It was as if the chefs had taken a crash course in mediocrity, serving up dishes that were less than pedestrian. The taste was bland, the texture was unappetizing, and the presentation was lackluster. It was as if they were trying to apologize for the quality of the food, rather than taking pride in their culinary creations. As I sat in my room, feeling like a prisoner in a gilded cage, I couldn't help but wonder, how could a hotel like the Seattle Marriott Waterfront, with its illustrious reputation and deep pockets, fail so miserably? Was it a case of complacency, of resting on their laurels, of assuming that their customers would blindly follow them, no matter how subpar the service? Or was it something more sinister? A deliberate attempt to cut costs, to maximize profits, to treat their customers like mere commodities, rather than human beings deserving of respect and dignity? Whatever the reason, one thing was clear: the Seattle Marriott Waterfront was a hotel that had lost its way, that had forgotten the very essence of hospitality, that had abandoned its customers to the whims of fate. And as I packed my bags, ready to leave this forsaken place behind, I couldn't help but feel a sense of sorrow, of loss, of disappointment. For I had expected so much more, had hoped for a sanctuary, a haven, a place to call home. Instead, I got a cold, hard slap in the face, a reminder that even the most prestigious of hotels can fail, can fall short, can abandon their customers to the wolves. So, dear friends, dear readers, let this be a lesson to you. Let this be a warning, a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most luxurious of hotels can have a dark underbelly, can be hiding secrets, can be treating their customers like dirt. And to the Seattle Marriott Waterfront, I say this: you had one job, one chance to make a difference, one opportunity to shine. And you blew it. You failed, miserably, spectacularly, monumentally. So, here's my advice to you, dear friends: avoid the Seattle Marriott Waterfront like the plague. Avoid. Based on my analysis of businesses near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle, here is the comprehensive overview. Based on the negative reviews provided, here is a focused analysis of the specific businesses near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle, Pacific Place. The negative reviews of Pacific Place reveal a common pattern of disappointment and frustration among customers. The most significant issues include: 1. Lack of stores and empty spaces. Many reviewers mention that the mall has become empty, with few stores remaining. and those that are left are not worth visiting. 2. Poor parking experience. Several reviewers complained about the parking system, citing difficulties with payment, finding their cars, and the overall process. 3. Desolate atmosphere. Reviewers described the mall as dead, sad, and depressing, indicating a lack of energy and vibrancy. 4. Unhelpful staff. Some reviewers mentioned that the staff was unhelpful or unresponsive to their concerns. Overall, Pacific Place seems to be struggling to maintain a viable shopping experience, with many customers feeling that it has lost its appeal. Ananya Spa. The negative reviews of Ananya Spa highlight several areas of concern. 1. Poor communication. Multiple reviewers mentioned that the spa failed to communicate effectively, leading to misunderstandings, missed appointments, and incorrect charges. 2. Unprofessional staff. Reviewers reported instances of unprofessional behavior from staff, including rudeness, lack of empathy, and failure to listen to customer concerns. 3. Poor quality of services. Several reviewers reported subpar experiences with their treatments, including painful massages, unclean facilities, and ineffective communication from therapists. 4. Inflexibility and unwillingness to compromise. Reviewers felt that the spa was inflexible and unwilling to work with them to resolve issues, leading to feelings of frustration and disappointment. Overall, Ananya Spa seems to be struggling with providing a satisfactory experience, with customers feeling that the spa prioritizes its own policies over their needs and concerns. Umi Sake House. The negative reviews of Umi Sake House reveal several areas of concern. 1. Poor service. Multiple reviewers reported poor service, including long wait times, inattentive servers, and misunderstandings about orders. 2. Overpriced and low-quality food. Reviewers felt that the food was overpriced and of poor quality, with some describing it as Japanese junk food. 3. Rude hostess and server. Several reviewers reported encountering a rude and hostile hostess, as well as servers who were unhelpful and unfriendly. 4. Disappointing atmosphere. Reviewers described the atmosphere as not meeting their expectations, with some feeling that it was not conducive to enjoying Japanese food. Overall, Umi Sake House seems to be struggling to provide a satisfying experience, with customers feeling that the restaurant prioritizes its own interests over their needs and concerns. In general, the common patterns and issues across these businesses include poor communication and customer service, lack of attention to detail and quality control, inflexibility and unwillingness to compromise, unprofessional behavior from staff, disappointing atmosphere and overall experience. These issues can be addressed by focusing on improving customer service, communication, and quality control, as well as creating a more welcoming and satisfying atmosphere for customers. Analysis of negative reviews for businesses near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Chunk 2/3. This analysis examines recurring issues and negative reviews for Il Bistro, Q Nightclub, and Glasswing Shop, all located near the Seattle Marriott Waterfront. The complaints reveal patterns in service quality, customer experience, and operational shortcomings. 1. Il Bistro, declining quality and hostile service. Key issues: poor service and rude staff. Multiple reviewers described dismissive, impatient, and even aggressive behavior from servers. Complaints include forced tipping, 20% added without consent, incorrect orders, and staff arguing with customers over payment. Declining food quality. Longtime patrons note a drop in food standards, citing dry, bland, or improperly prepared dishes, for example, overcooked chicken parm, under-reduced bolognese, unpleasant ambience, dim, overly red lighting made menus hard to read, and a musty smell suggested poor ventilation. Ethical concerns. Multiple accusations of dishonest billing, including unauthorized tip additions and unexplained surcharges. Example quotes: "The server was rude, barely made eye contact, and seemed annoyed when we asked questions. The bolognese left much to be desired. The meat is a chunky, beefy, unbodied mess. They added more to the tip than I authorized. My bank ruled in my favor after disputing the charge." Takeaway: Il Bistro's reputation suffers from unprofessional service, deceptive billing, and inconsistent food quality, alienating both tourists and regulars. 2. Q Nightclub, overcrowding and safety concerns. Key issues: overcrowding and poor layout, described as a fire hazard, with extreme overcrowding limiting movement and visibility. VIP areas were criticized for being claustrophobic. Rude staff and security. Multiple reports of aggressive bouncers, including accusations of groping patrons and dismissive attitudes toward complaints. Excessive pricing, high cover charges, $25, $35, and $16 plus for basic drinks, for example, $70 for 2 Jack and Cokes, were frequently cited as unreasonable. Sound and safety issues. Patrons complained of poor acoustics, likening the sound system to a blown 80s boombox. Some felt unsafe due to visible drug exchanges and heavy-handed security. Example quotes: "This was one of the most suffocating, overpacked venues I've ever attended. If a fight broke out, it'd be a stampede. Security was really rude. No point spending money to be mistreated. Male security in women's bathrooms. Ruined our night." Takeaway: Q nightclub's lack of crowd control, hostile staff, and exorbitant pricing overshadow its music offerings, making it a risky choice for visitors. 3. Glasswing Shop. Exclusionary and unwelcoming key issues. Unfriendly service. Staff were repeatedly described as aloof or overly suspicious, with some shoppers feeling followed or ignored based on appearance. Accessibility problems. A reviewer noted the shop's lack of wheelchair access, 3 steps at entry, calling it discriminatory. Overpriced inventory. Many criticized the inflated prices, for example, $70 for a small cactus, questioning the value. Ethical concerns. One review mentioned a jacket with an ethnic slur, raising questions about product vetting. Example quotes: "Every employee dodged eye contact. Showed disdain with their body language. A place where if you look like a hiker, you'll get super close attention by store crew. Prices are so absurdly high that you'll have a hard time imagining their target clientele." Takeaway: Glasswing's uninviting atmosphere and questionable inclusivity deter potential customers, despite its curated aesthetic. Common themes across businesses. 1. Poor customer service. Rude or indifferent staff plagued all 3 businesses, with Il Bistro and Q Nightclub facing the harshest criticism. 2. Value concerns. Overpricing. Q Nightclub's drinks, Glasswing's merchandise, and declining quality. Il Bistro's food left patrons feeling. Analysis of negative reviews. Businesses near Seattle Marriott Waterfront. The Pink Door. This analysis focuses specifically on the negative reviews for the Pink Door, a restaurant located near the Seattle Marriott Waterfront. Based on a review sample of 10 negative experiences, a clear pattern of issues emerges, centering around inconsistent food quality, poor service, particularly from specific staff members, and a disconnect between the restaurant's hyped reputation and actual guest experience. What the Pink Door appears to be. Based on negative reviews, the Pink Door is presented as a visually appealing restaurant with a unique ambience that initially draws customers in. However, this initial impression is frequently overshadowed by subpar execution in key areas. While some reviewers mention the atmosphere or music as positives, these are consistently outweighed by negative experiences. The restaurant attempts a higher-end dining experience reflected in its pricing, but consistently fails to deliver on that promise, according to these reviews. It seems to rely heavily on its reputation and aesthetic, potentially neglecting fundamental aspects of hospitality and culinary quality. Common patterns and issues. Inconsistent and poor food quality. This is the most frequently cited complaint. Several reviewers specifically mention issues with pasta dishes being dry, bland, or tasting like frozen pre-made meals. Lasagna is repeatedly called out as a particularly disappointing item, often described as oily, lacking flavor, and having minimal meat content. A lack of seasoning, particularly salt, is a recurring theme across multiple dishes, including fish and spaghetti. One particularly alarming review details severe food poisoning potentially linked to the meatballs or pistachio dessert. Portion sizes are also criticized as being small for the price point. Rude and dismissive service. A significant portion of the negative feedback centers on unpleasant interactions with staff. Multiple reviews specifically name a staff member, Jacqueline Roberts, as being exceptionally rude, with descriptions including loud, dismissive, and lacking class. Beyond this specific individual, there are numerous complaints about general rudeness from hosts, waiters, and even the manager, Chris. The reviews describe a lack of courtesy, unwillingness to accommodate reasonable requests, like ID clarification, and a generally unwelcoming atmosphere. One review details a waiter almost dropping a plate without apology, and another recounts being rushed through a birthday dinner. Reservation/seating issues. Several reviewers express frustration with the reservation process and subsequent seating arrangements. Despite having reservations, guests were made to wait, offered less desirable seating, the common area, or had their drinks confiscated. The common theme is a perceived lack of respect for pre-booked reservations and a lack of proactive communication with guests. Mismatch between expectation and reality. A common thread is disappointment. Reviewers frequently state they had high expectations based on the Pink Door's reputation and were let down by the experience. This suggests that marketing and word of mouth create a significantly inflated perception of the restaurant's quality. Specific examples from the reviews. Food quality. Lasagna had no flavor, Not enough sauce, no meat, just cheese and layers of pasta. Cindy 04LLL. The meatballs were not good, they were tasteless. Liz, food poisoning case. Rude service, rude white lady very loudly said you have to put that thing away, have some class lady and be polite. Luke I am. The manager, Chris, was described as having a cold, dismissive attitude when handling an ID issue. Savannah Wilson. Reservation/seating issues, we ended up sitting in the common area, and the hostess told us that we had to throw out our drinks. They had 10 to 15 minutes prior to seating us to give us a heads up so we could finish our drinks. Stacy Miffin. Lack of attention to detail, a waiter brought a birthday cake before clearing the table. Man Salsida. The salmon was overcooked and small. Shirley Bevans. Generalized implications for businesses in the area, the issues highlighted at the pink door aren't necessarily isolated incidents. These reviews suggest a potential broader problem within the immediate area concerning the balance between creating a trendy, visually appealing atmosphere and delivering consistently high-quality food and genuinely hospitable service. Businesses relying heavily on reputation and aesthetics, without backing it up with consistent quality control and staff training, run the risk of disappointing customers and receiving negative feedback. The reviews also demonstrate the importance of proactively addressing customer concerns and handling service recovery effectively. This analysis covers all the businesses analyzed in the area and provides insights into what travelers can expect when staying near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle. Here I am, looking into crimes near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle, and oh my goodness, it's just so sad. You know, businesses near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle, are like, super vulnerable to these organized retail theft rings. Like, I don't get it, why can't they just leave these stores alone? Okay. So I'm reading about this Piroshki Bakery at 3rd Avenue and Pike Street, and the owner, Olga Sagan, is saying how sales have plummeted because of rampant theft and declining foot traffic. I mean, can you imagine? You're just trying to run a business, and people are stealing from you left and right. It's like, how are you supposed to make a living? And you know what's even crazier? These theft rings are targeting major brands like Lululemon, Nike, and The North Face. I mean, these are big names, and they're just getting robbed blind. The Washington Retail Association says these rings steal high-value merchandise for resale, causing annual losses of 10 to 12% per store. That's insane. What's wrong with people, you know? Can't they just be honest and buy stuff like normal humans? My prediction is that Olga Sagan probably felt so frustrated and helpless, watching her business go down the drain like that. I mean, who wouldn't? And those thieves, they probably just went on to steal from someone else, without a care in the world. It's just so wrong. Moving on, businesses near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle, are also like, super prone to closures due to persistent theft. Like, I'm reading about Fred Meyer and Walgreens, and how they're shutting down because of all the theft. It's like, what's the point of even having a business if people are just going to steal from you? I think those local residents who relied on Fred Meyer must have been devastated when it closed down. Where are they supposed to go now? And the owners, they must have felt like they had no choice but to shut down. It's just so sad. And then there's this guy, Victor J. Matt, who was posing as a government employee, presenting fake state checks, and stealing outboard boat motors from various stores in King County. I mean, how did he even come up with this scheme? It's like, he must have had some kind of twisted genius or something. My prediction is that he probably thought he was above the law, you know, like he was some kind of mastermind. But really, he was just a thief, stealing from hard-working people. I'm just so done with all these scams and thefts near Seattle Marriott Waterfront, Seattle. It's like, can't people just be honest and respect each other's property?